What's going on, guys? Antonio here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me. Let's get into it. All right, so we're on Yahoo, and they had this story posted up. This was placed on the official Dreamville social medias, their Instagram and all this kind of stuff. They had put up a new flyer, and the flyer announced that 50 Cent was going to replace Chris Brown as the day one headliner for Dreamville Fest, which is happening this weekend. And was it day one? The headliner is now going to be 50 Cent, and day two is Nicki Minaj and J. Cole. So obviously J. Cole's going to headline at least one of the nights on his own festival. I know him and Drake both have festive. I don't think Kendrick Lamar had, and I'm saying of the so-called rappers that make up the big three, although Kendrick said there is no big three, it's just Big Me. But of the rappers that make up the big three, which would be Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole, Drake has OVO Fest. He's been doing that for several years now up there in Toronto. And, J. Cole has Dreamville Fest. That's been going on at least, 6-7 years at least, I think, as well. But I know 50 has a good relationship with J. Cole. When 50 was doing his final lap tour up in New York, he had a couple of sold out shows up there in Madison Square Garden, or was it the Barclays? It may have been at the Barclays. Either way, he was up in New York, and he surprised the audience, and J. Cole popped out on one of the nights and did some songs, for the crowd, and 50 brought him out. So they have a great relationship. So that's it's not surprising that when Chris Brown announced that he couldn't make the show, that he was like, man, I gotta get a big name. And obviously 50, people's like, oh man, 50 washed, but 50 been doing numbers on the road. Everybody's shocked by that. There's a lot of big rappers, and they've had to cancel tour. What was it? Lil Baby had to cancel some dates, and Da Baby, he had shows that were canceled, or they had to restructure and do all that. There's a lot of people that you see. What was it? Rod Wave I saw was they had to cut back on. They had a big tour schedule, and they had to cut some of the dates because the tickets weren't selling. 50 had booked over 100 something, over 100 something dates on this final lap tour in the U.S. and then the European leg, and he's over in Dubai. He went down to Africa. They're in Australia, and you just see the videos, and these places are selling out. He's doing crazy, crazy numbers. And people's like, man, it's been like 20 years. How's 50 Cent still doing this? But 50 never fully gave up on rap. He's doing his TV thing, but he's doing other stuff. So I think this move makes sense. I know I've personally watched 50 Cent perform twice. I was gonna try to see him. They had the final lap tour in Nashville, and I couldn't get tickets because I was wanting to go see him again. But I've seen him perform twice in Nashville, and it was always great performances. So, like I said, this makes sense. Now, some people, when they initially announced that Chris Brown was on the show, they got upset because you have that core set of fans that believe that Chris Brown should not be allowed to perform on any concert. He shouldn't appear on anybody's TV program. He shouldn't be allowed on streaming platforms and everything. And this is all stemming from the situation that happened, with Rihanna. Almost like it was over a decade ago. That situation with Rihanna happened over almost 12, 13 years ago at least. It happened a minute ago, and people are still holding grudge. So when that initially happened, because they announced Chris Brown was going to headline the first day, they announced that several weeks ago, and there was pressure to remove Chris Brown from this show. This is not, obviously J. Cole and his team, they did not listen to these people. And so from everything that I'm reading, Chris Brown something came up in his situation and he had to let him know, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to make the date, my bad. And then so he reached out, J. Cole reached out to 50, and obviously, as you can see here, 50 is going to do that. So this is gonna be, I still think, like, 50 puts on a great show. And, you know, he's a great performer and obviously got a ton of hits, but I understand that if you were excited and you would come to the show to see, because that's an R&B, because I did see some people that were upset. They were talking about the fact that it's like, you know, you're replacing an R&B star with a hip hop star. So if you're in the mood for some R&B, you don't necessarily want to hear that hardcore hip hop like 50 Cent. So I understand it's a different genre, but if you've watched some of the videos of 50's final lap tour, he's got, you know, he's had like Jeremiah, he brings him out and all this kind of stuff. So he's got some little ballads and stuff. I think, like I said, I think this is 50's amazing. He's one of my favorite rappers. I love 50, and I think this is good. But like I said, there's some people that feel like Chris Brown should never be allowed to, you know, he hadn't been in any trouble. I can't think of the last real trouble that Chris Brown has been in. And I'm talking like going back over a decade. There was an incident a few years ago where there was a woman that claimed an incident happened at Chris Brown's mansion. She was, you know, little cute blonde girl. Chris Brown had apparently had a party at his home. The young lady was there in attendance. She was kicking it. She was kicking it with a couple of people that were cool with Chris Brown. And, you know, from everything that came out afterwards, what happened was after the party was over, she ended up staying at the house like another 2 nights at least. You know, the party been over. It's like 48 hours, 72 hours later, and this girl is still at the house. And they're like, yo, man, y'all got to tell this chick she can't be here. She doesn't live here. I don't understand why she's trying to hang like this. You know, the party been over for a couple days now. She got to go. So they hollered at her and they said, hey, you know, this is Chris's spot. Y'all got to go. You got to leave. So when she left, all of a sudden she contacts law enforcement and lets them know, oh, there was an incident at Chris Brown's house. They had helicopters flying over Chris Brown's house. You know, he had to call his lawyers. They all kind of stuff. And like I said, when they found out this woman was not telling the truth, I don't think anything really happened to her. You know what I'm saying? She got away with it. So she made a false claim because she got in her feelings because they, you know, they asked her to leave. So, you know, she was asked to leave, and then she contacted law enforcement and made up a story. But, you know, a lot of the blogs that posted the initial story did not do the follow-up when they found out that she was just in her feelings because she was trying to stay up in the man's house, and he was like, yo, you got to go. Anyway, but like I said, this is I still think this is a solid lineup. Like I said, 50 Cent headlining day one, and then you got J. Cole and Nicki Minaj as the headliners for the night 2 closeout of Dreamville Fest. But what do you guys think in the comments? Let me know what you guys think. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on Threads, all at Ikari Press. And if you type in IkariPress.com, it will take you to my comic book brand, Way of the Gun. You can check that out. Also got a link to my Gumroad to check out some of the other books that I've worked on, like Dame Drop Super Official. You can download a copy there. It's not that much. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.